Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 7 of ZAD's F1 Circuit Tour in ACC. My name is Shim. I am your host for tonight's race. Excited to bring you another worldwide race here. Race halfway across the world in the beautiful country of Italy. At the beautiful circuit that is Monza. Well, some might call it beautiful, some might call it a bit dangerous, especially there in turn 1. It's going to be a great race tonight. We'll see if our drivers can keep it clean in turn 1 tonight. As our drivers are now going around the circuit for a few warm-up laps now. And as you can see, or as at least I hope you can see, there's a little bit of rain on the circuit for this practice session. The first little bit of rain that I believe we've seen this whole season long. So as our drivers slip and slide around the track, Larson, our championship leader, looking to put in some laps, test the weather on probably some dry tires here, see how the car is performing. That being said, I mentioned that Larson right here is the leader of our championship. Let's take a look at our standings here quick before we get into the race. If we go onto our SimGrid page here, we see Larson's got a commanding lead in first place, almost 40 points ahead of KP2, who is running with 396 points in second place. Very comfortably, both of these guys are up there in the top 2 places. But where it gets really interesting and where we're going to want to watch out this race and for future races is in these midfield runners. Matthew Reed and Goetia got a close battle for P3 in the championship here. Only 2 points apart. Tonight's race could mean the difference between them. Hopefully they are both here and present tonight. Otherwise, one of them will be coming out on top. We also have Nunez, who really isn't that far off with 228 points. Close behind him is Friesen, Slim Friesen, who's got 226 points. So very close battle for P5 in the championship between those two. I see that both of them are in the server tonight, and it'll be interesting to see where they come out. Had some good last races, those two. We've got Juan Valero, James Turnbull, 212 and 203. Could be some battles between them depending on how things turn out these last few races. Englander and Fender, close battle for P10 here, last of the top 10 positions. We'll have to see who will come out on top here. Only 3 points apart. And as we go down, further down the list, Griffith and Cormier are both on the same amount of points right now. Rodman not too far behind. Flores not too far behind, even a little bit more, but not too far. And as we go down, our drivers get closer and closer together here. So very great battles here forming in our championship standings. Going to be wanting to watch out for those, especially that battle for P3 that could be high profile for today's race. I see Goetia and Reed are both in the server tonight. Just want to let you guys know that tonight's race is a 60-minute race, and it is the second to last race of this season. Next week, we will have a race at Circuit of the Americas. Sadly, I will not be able to cast that race because I will be gone for work. But it is going to be something y'all want to watch out for and keep in touch with if you want to see the most up-to-date information on the standings and such. This F1 circuit tour has been a great tour around the world with tracks ranging from Japan all the way to the United States, to Europe, and more. It's been a great pleasure to be able to watch a lot of these races. Sadly, I haven't been able to watch more, but really shows the global scale that racing and Formula One has, similar to the global scale that the World Cup might have if you're watching that currently going on right now. Team that you won't see, a country you won't see in there is Italy, where this track is located. As we see, we have 17 drivers in the server so far, but we still have 10 minutes left in our free practice. I do imagine most of our drivers are going to be running full, no wings at all today for today's race, unless there might be some rain on the radar. We'll have to watch. Monza, though, known for being one of the faster circuits on the F1 calendar. A lot of heavy braking zones, but also some of the fastest portions of any track on the calendar. Our drivers today should be ranging about 20 seconds slower, 20 seconds plus slower than the fastest F1 times in our GT3 machines today. If we have dry racing, we can expect our top drivers to be around the 1 minute 47, all the way up to maybe even 2 minutes, maybe some of our slower drivers. I know some of our drivers have been able to do for 47 twos. Most of our drivers will probably be around the 50 to 49 range. That should make for some great racing. All about staying in the draft, making sure you make your opportunities and make them smart, because there aren't many turns, many corners to make moves at. We have a lot of heavy braking zones, but you don't want to get too side by side or risk collisions on this track. First chicane and second chicane known to be deadly, and then there's the third chicane, Ascari, that is known to be deadly for other reasons, that being drivers just losing control over the curbing, because the fastest way through is to take those curbs as much as you possibly can, and that can be pretty deadly if you take them the wrong way or on the gas too strongly. I know that all too well. I just was racing this myself, and what do you know? Bin it in Ascari. So carnage and chicane, binning it in Ascari, that's what this track is known for. It would be interesting if we see a wet weather race for the race today. Should be really interesting with an hour-long session too. Could leave some room for multiple different types of weather to show, which would make strategy all the more important. As we watch Reed, Goetia. A lot of fast Hondas in this circuit, in this server tonight. Got Portis, number 2 in the champion standings. Doesn't have the fastest lap for qualifying, or for free practice, I should say. But I can imagine he's got some more pace in him. Juan Valero, another Honda driver. Englander, pretty quick in that AMG. Dustin Fletcher, McLaren driver. Chris Rise, back at it tonight in the Audi. P8 in practice. Carlos Flores in the BMW. Got Matt Fender, another AMG driver. Keith Brown, another McLaren. Rodman in the Audi. Yu, another BMW driver. Nunez in the Audi. I can imagine he's going to have some more pace in him. One of our fastest drivers here. Griffith, McLaren, Friesen, our lone Ferrari driver for tonight. And Pinio in the Mercedes AMG. We have about 5 minutes left here in free practice, and want to thank you all for joining us tonight. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want the most up-to-date information on all of our streams, as well as future videos that might be posted to the channel. And if you're interested in getting involved in Zealous Racing League, be sure to join our Discord. Links are on the YouTube channel, on the homepage of the YouTube channel, I should say. That is where you will get the most up-to-date information on our leagues, when they will be occurring. As Season 9 is now coming to a close, you can expect that information on Season 10 will be coming out pretty shortly after that. The admins and myself will be taking a bit of a break over the holidays, but you can bet that we'll be back after the new year for some more league racing put on here by Zealous Racing League. Ooh, is Croatia. Ooh, and that's what I mean about binning it in Ascari. Gets a little bit too ambitious there and slides across. Still raining too, which is very interesting to see in this practice session. Three minutes now remain in free practice before we go into our 12-minute, I believe 12-minute qualifying session. The drivers will try to set the fastest lap possible and secure their spot on the grid. One thing that you also might want to tune into is any possible endurance races that will be put on by Zealous here in the future. As you may know, the North American sim racing communities, Delta, Apollo, and Zealous, have joined together to do a bit of a series for endurance racing. Next organization up, I should say, is Zealous for making our endurance race. So you can expect some information on that. Also possible fun races that we might do, fun series that we might do in between. We've been known to do a few series here and there that have maybe differing rules, maybe using a different car. We had a cup not too long ago where we used all the new cars that came out with the last patch, like the BMW cup car, excuse me, the new Super Trofeo, the new what other cars came out? The new Porsche Cup car, all of those. We had a series where we played four tracks, and each track we had a different car. So maybe there's some room for one of those fun series in the middle. I know if I had my pick, I'd love to run a Cup car, BMW Cup car spec series. I really, really love those front-wheel drive Cup car, like touring car series. So maybe we can possibly run one of those in the interim. As we watch Englander in that black cheetah, that Black Panther, I should say, livery. One of my favorite liveries of the season. Chris Rye still out there in the Audi. We only have a few drivers out there as the track is starting to dry out a bit, going from wet to damp, and Rise will just end his lap there, as will the 59 of Englander. Only car still out there is Dale Rodman, Junior the Third, who crashes in Ascari, and will probably be ending his practice session right there. And there we are. we are ready for our qualifying session. First car out there, as you can see, is, let me see if I can find him real quick, Kenneth Portis in the Honda NSX. Going to be quick here today, the Honda. A lot of those drivers going to be the ones to watch out for as Portis comes out for his first flying lap. We'll watch him on his first lap get a lay of the land on this track. Not that there's too much going on with this track. It's a pretty cut and dry track, known for being one of the easier tracks to get the hang of in Assetto Corsa. A lot of drivers who first play this game will start here at Monza and learn from there. Definitely has the reputation of being a beginner's circuit, but there is a lot of nuance and challenge to getting those chicanes right. The key to this circuit is making sure that you maintain as much speed as possible through chicanes 2 and Ascari, as well as keeping up the pace around Parabolica, the final turn of the track, and making sure you don't bin it into someone on the first chicane. All about maintaining your momentum, which should be said for pretty much every circuit, but with Monza, it's definitely a bit more flowing than the rest, where you really only have that first chicane that really slows you down. Everything else you should really be powering through, gliding through, maintaining all the speed that you possibly can. And here we go, Portis in the cockpit. We have Portis for his first flying lap as he comes down the start-finish straight here in the NSX, looking for about that 150 breakpoint marker into first gear, trying to maintain the pressure in first gear, accelerating as early as you can. Into the flat-out right-hander we have here, brings us towards the chicane number 2. Maintaining it in 5th gear, brakes at about the 100, trying to cut it as close as you can to those curbs. Maintaining speed as it goes back here through Lesmo 1. And now 2. Power early down the straight here. Second DRS point in Formula 1. As he heads towards Ascari. Flat out as he comes closer, braking right after the overhang there into 2nd gear, trying to maintain the speed as he powers through, flat out through that last little kink of Ascari, down the last straight here towards Parabolica, braking right after the 100, cutting it close, early on the power. Parabolica sweeps out right at the end here, so you can really be on the power early here. Now it's time to cut it as close as you possibly can. Shortest distance to the line of 48.8 is going to be our set point here as Portis crosses the finish line. Definitely going to be one's better, and indeed Larson behind him goes 1 second better than Portis. Fletcher coming down the back straight now. Drivers coming in for their first lap. 24 car seems to have invalidated their left. Griffith invalidated their first lap. 99 car of Pinio, 3 seconds back. Flores 3 seconds back. Number 7 car of Goetia goes 3rd fastest, 2 seconds back. 29 of Matthew Reed will go a little bit faster, 1.9 seconds back from Larson. Larson's going to be our set point with that 47.7. That's going to be the time to beat Valero. 3rd fastest, 1.7 seconds back. Rodman still in the pits, and same with Yao, also in the pits. Just joined in, 18th driver now. Friesen, our number 5 driver in the standings currently, as he comes by Parabolica. Early on the power in that Ferrari. This is his home race today in that Ferrari. Tifosi definitely going to be happy if he performs well in their machine. He goes 7th fastest, 2.19 seconds back. Larson isn't able to improve on his lap. Oh, actually, he's coming across now, and he does improve a whole 2/10, and Portis improves on that last lap too, quite substantially, but he's still 0.7 seconds back from Larson's best lap. Watching some of our other drivers here, Brown coming towards Ascari. Cutting that chicane, cutting that corner as much as he can. I gotta say, Ascari is definitely one of the better turns out there on tracks. One of my favorite chicanes, if not my favorite chicane, meant to slow down the cars out there. There's just such a beautiful flow to that turn where, you know, you don't want to get going as slow down as much as, you know, the first chicane or maybe the chicane at Barcelona. It's not obtrusive. It flows through the circuit. You're able to take a lot of that first turn into the chicane. You're able to cut a lot of that and make sure that you hug then the inside of the chicane as you come out then into a kink flat out down that back straight. Truly a beautiful turn, and one that must be taken with great care and must be practiced in order to get correct. As Larson now comes down the back straight, hot on the tails of Portis. And here he goes. See if he can do one better now. Portis not able to improve on that last lap, but Larson is able to improve a whole. He's able to improve a whole 2/10 again on that last lap. Both Portis and Larson now in the pits, probably refreshing their tires and topping off their fuel tanks. So we have 7 minutes left. Reed, third in the championship standings, needs to beat Goetia today. Needs to do well against him in order to maintain his standing. Goetia currently having the better end of it. Reed not able to put in a time, I think, that's representative of his pace. Just having a lot of troubles here as he comes into the first chicane. There he goes. Nunez again, also another driver that I don't believe is is running laps right now that is indicative of his pace. Definitely think he can go faster than what he's showing right now. And indeed, he does. Goes third fastest. It's going to be close between our drivers today. Portis back on track during his outlap currently. Let's take a look at Chris Rise in the Audi as he comes into the second chicane here, braking at the 100. Gets a little bit of that sausage curb and down to the gravel with those left tires. Same with Englander behind him. Oh, and he goes wide into Lesmo 1. That is going to cost him, and he is going to have to reset now. Now Friesen will take the same corner here. See if he can do a little bit better than that. Now Friesen, he has to do better than Nunez today. His battle is with Nunez. Going to be awfully close between those two. Nunez is currently 4 tenths faster than Friesen, but 5 minutes left in qualifying, so still a lot of time to make up that ground and put a better lap out there. Through Ascari, looking good. And I just realized something. Does he have a small bumper sticker of the Powder Toast Man on the back of his car? A little tramp stamp. Is that what I see there? You see that right there? That is the Powder Toast Man. As Friesen crosses the finish line, 6th fastest. That'll put him pretty close to Nunez. A lot of our drivers very close in the timing sheet today. And now Portis, he's going to want to do better than his last lap as he comes through, taking all of that turn he can, and I think he may have just invalidated his lap there as he went a little bit far, went a whole wheel's worth outside of the white line. We'll have to see what this does here as he comes towards the start-finish line. Is it going to count? And it does count. He does go 4 thousandths faster, but doesn't really put much of a dent in the gap that Larson's gained. All right, and here goes Portis on another attempt. The number 6 car of Matt Fender, as he comes down that back straight, he is going to be setting a lap now. This is his first flying lap of this stint, or this attempt, I should say. See if he can go better, and he does. Now 10th fastest for Matt Fender. Good showing from him so far. Another car that has yet to set a time, Toby Yao. We'll come back to him. Watch Friesen cross. And can he do a better lap? And he does not. He's gonna go back to the pits, maybe get one more out of it. Keith Brown now rounding the final turn, parabolica there in the McLaren. See if he can do better. Isn't able to improve on his best lap. Yao now crossing the finish line. Looks like he invalidated the last lap, so he'll have to go for another one. Oh, and he cuts the chicane. That's going to invalidate that lap. Probably does not. I don't believe he has enough time to make it up either. I think he is going to be done for his session today. Flores doesn't improve his time. Reed does improve his time, but I don't believe that improves his place in the standings. He's got one more fast lap. And now we have 1 minute left. Let's watch Porta see if he can improve his lap. I think he's got this last lap to show what he's got in the fight against Larson. Using all of the curbing as he possibly can. Fast down the back straight. It's going to be interesting to see how our drivers will manage the race today, as you know, if there's a chance. Oh, he goes wide. That is definitely an invalidated lap. Can he cross the finish line before the timer runs out? He's not going to be able to. That's going to be the best he can do. Nunez behind, though. Seeing if he can send a message here. Letting them know that he's got the pace, too, to battle against the best. Currently our third fastest driver, and he's just going to opt to go to the pits. Valero behind him. Close enough, but not enough. Ground is made. Valero. P4. Let's go to some of our other drivers here. Englander just crosses, goes 6th fastest. Fender. Pinio, 12th fastest currently. There he goes. Isn't able to improve his time, but respectable P12 for Pinio tonight. Fletcher is our last car out there today. Fletcher in his Castrol racing McLaren. And he does go faster, P9. And that is the end of our qualifying session here. Drivers now get 2 minutes to do the last minute setup changes that they might have as we get ready for this hour-long race at Monza. Who will come out on top today at the Circuit of Speed? 2 minutes until we find out. Your running order for today's race: Larson, P1, Portis, P2 in the front row, Nunez, Valero, Guaida, Englander, Friesen, Rise, Fletcher, Reed, Fender, Pinio, Brown, Carlos Flores, Griffith, Yu, Rodman, and Yao. That's your racing order, as we have 1 minute left. It's going to be very important for our drivers to stay clean during the race today. It's going to be incredibly important to stay clean during turn 1 of Monza here. And here we go. We've got 30 seconds left. Can they keep it clean on the first chicane? How much carnage will there be? We do have a pretty good track record here, so we'll have to see how that all turns out. And now our drivers all have hit drive as they line up 2 by 2 for this 60-minute race at Monza. Doesn't appear to be any mandatory pit stops as they round Parabolica. Plethora of colors lined up here at the beautiful Italian Circuit of Speed as they come down the start-finish line here. Larson jockeying a little bit here, trying to judge the pace as we gauge closer And we are go. Green light on the rolling start today. Portis tucks in behind Larson here. Getting awfully close. Nunez as well. Peeks his nose out there. Awfully close between these drivers today. Portis does get the edge on Larson there. Larson opts for the inside line. Lets Portis and Nunez sneak on through. Nunez side by side. Looks like to be a little bit of carnage there on the back end, with Griffith getting caught up a little bit. But right now, man to watch, Portis really going away with it, because back behind him, Larson's battling with Nunez as they come into chicane number 2 here. Battle between Valero and, contact between Valero and Guacia and Nunez back there. Not good to see in the second chicane. Valero just lost it into that second chicane there and caused a bit of an incident. Bumped into Nunez, messed up his line, probably gave him a little bit of damage. Now Nunez is back behind Englander and Guacia. Man to watch now, though, is Portis, as he's gotten the advantage. But Larson's going to be with him the whole ways. Larson has about a 7/10 faster lap time here than Portis. Going to be interesting to watch as they go through Ascari, the first time through Ascari during this race. It's going to be tough for Portis to hold off Larson today as they come down to the final corner to end the first lap of this race. Huge change in position between Portis and Larson. Larson is inching closer, though. Definitely has the better line now as Larson tries to go narrow. Or as Portis tries to go narrow, sorry. Larson tucking in behind. Down the start-finish straight they are. Larson inching closer in that draft. He takes a look on the inside, I should say, but isn't able to see it, isn't able to make it. Portis will maintain the position for now, but Larson is already breathing down his neck. Portis has got to pick up the pace here if he wants to fend off Larson for this whole race. Larson probably not too concerned, doesn't want to make a big mistake when trying to overtake Portis here. Contact in the back. 95 car of Kevin Yu with lots of damage on that car. Him and Yao seem to have been caught up in that. Portis swinging around, back on Lesmo 1, and now 2. Larson awfully close, though. 2/10 back from Portis. Really don't know if Portis is going to be able to hold off Larson for this whole race. Larson definitely, we've always considered Portis to be an alien in terms of pace, but if Portis is an alien, I don't know what Larson is. His pace has just been absolutely incredible this season. Definitely need to nerf his car. As they come down, finishing up lap number 2. Portis opting for a little bit of a narrower line. And Larson now still inching closer and closer. Still has that slipstream. Guacia and all the drivers falling back behind. Looks like Friesen got tucked up in something at the back end there. See if there's any damage on his Ferrari. Doesn't appear to be, as long as he keeps it clean. Watching this battle between Portis and Larson, though, that's what we're going to want to stay on. If you're just joining us, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're enjoying the race so far. This is a great battle for P1 between Portis and Larson. Larson going a little bit wide there. Using that runoff, that's what it's there for. As they now come down towards Ascari, Larson is just biding his time, I think. don't believe he wants to make any big mistakes, as he cuts a lot of that corner. They both go wide, out of Ascari. Larson awfully close. This awfully close here. Don't think he's making the move just yet. Larson hugging close on the gas early though. That's a good run for Larson. That's probably his best run today on that last turn. Definitely has a lot of speed, catching Portis now. See if we can see the helicam here, how close he actually is. About 2 car lengths back. Don't think that's going to be enough to make it work though. Maybe Larson is trying to make a move on Portis, but isn't able to get that last turn of Parabolica right to be able to gain the run up to fight Portis. Portis is just being a brick wall of defense there, but looking closely now, Larson takes the outside here going into the second chicane. Kind of peeks on the outside, isn't going to make the move though. And they go single file into the chicane there. Nunez back up to P4 after that shunt from Valero. Valero now down into P13, probably has lots of damage on that Honda NSX of his. Currently, the skies say all green, all clear. No sign of rain in 30 minutes, but who knows, that could change as we get closer on. And here we go. Portis still holding off Larson here. Awfully close battle between these two. Nothing going on just yet. Looks like Portis is cutting off Larson's line here so he can't get on the gas as early as he'd want to. Losing some time, but Larson very close now on this opportunity. If we look here, he's already just a car length away, closer than he was last time. Getting very close now. Is he going to take a peek? I don't think he will. Realized he was too far back to make that one work. Goetia behind, 6 seconds back. Now feeling the pressure from Nunez, seeing if Nunez has any damage on that car. Doesn't appear to be too much, if there is any at all. As Nunez now closing in on Goetia. This is the battle for the final podium position. Looks like a little bit of damage on Nunez's car there. Chris Rise running in P5 right now. That's a great early move from him. Back to our leaders. Portis has managed to hold off Larson for 4 laps now. Will be 5 after this one. Definitely longer. He's holding it off a lot longer than I expected him to. But I do wonder how much this is, I wonder if Larson actually isn't able to pass, or if Portis, I wonder if Portis is actually making it hard enough for him not to pass, or if Larson is maybe playing it a little bit easy right now. Not sure if he's sandbagging. As they come down, Larson looking very close this time through, and he does take a little peek on the inside, but he's going to tuck back in, and he's going to think better of it. Nunez now getting awfully close to Goetia as they come down that start-finish straight. Where if Nunez is suffering some performance issues there now that he has some body work damaged. Reed doing well, now recovering from not the greatest qualifying performance he's ever had. Friesen battling for P5 in the standings, down in 9th place. He's going to hope for better. Guacia and Nunez battling it out currently. Friesen and Nunez are battling, and Guacia and Reed are battling in the standings. So right now, those two are a little bit further back, uh, Reed and Friesen. As Portis and Larson here pass through Ascari. If you're just joining us, welcome to this excellent battle between Portis and Larson for the lead of the race. If you're new to Zealous, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and if you're interested in getting involved, be sure to join our Discord page. Links are on the homepage of our YouTube channel. That's where you'll find the most up-to-date information on upcoming leagues and current leagues, and you can also get to know our admins a little bit better. With this being round 7 of 8 of the F1 Circuit Tour, Season 10 is just around the corner, so be sure to join if you're interested in getting involved with that. Nunez very close to Guacia that last lap, now 2/10 back. Friesen also close now to Fender. Gonna want to make the moves here soon so they're not getting held up. Larson tucking in. First chicane. Now Guacia and Nunez. Nunez able to make the move. And Guacia now having to play catch up. Rise kind of in no man's land right now. Friesen made the move on Fender. Fender's on the inside though, and probably didn't see him there. Fender didn't concede the position, but Friesen was in front going into that turn. He shouldn't feel obligated, I think, to give that position back. We go Portis and Larson here now. So Nunez making the moves, and same with Friesen making the moves. Good for their chances in the standings. Friesen now just got the move, just gave the place back to Fender. Don't think he had to do that. Probably just trying to be nice, but I would beg to differ and think he didn't really need to make that decision. Fender was holding that inside line, but Friesen definitely had it. Let's go through T1 now. Probably going to be watching this battle for most of the race. Larson seems to have trailed off just a tad. Nunez now almost a second ahead of Guacia. Chris Rise not making any dent, but he's now going to feel the pressure from Reed and Fletcher from behind. Friesen now hoping to make another move. Englander now feeling pressure from Valero, who's made his way up to 11th. After that lap 1 incident on the second chicane. Watching the timings closely here with our leaders. Fletcher awfully close to Reed right now as well. Friesen's going to want to make this move and make it stick quick. He is getting slowed down by by Fender here. Reed feeling pressure from Fender or Fletcher, like I said. What Reed needs to do, going wide out of Ascari there, Reed needs to pass Rise here, give himself maybe a little bit breathing room between him and Fletcher. Let Rise do the defending instead of him. Seeing now if he can make the move. Portis and Larson down the start-finish straight here. Larson looking on the inside, thinks better of it again, and won't be making that move today. Clouds rolling in today on the circuit. Could be some rain on the horizon. We'll have to see. Awfully close. Right on his bumper is Larson as they come into the second chicane. Portis may have gotten a little bit of a bump from Larson, but he'll stay ahead. Ooh, Larson gets a great run out of that second chicane and can't make the move. Not enough space to do it. Englander still holding off Reed. Too many battles to watch right now. As Larson goes on the outside, he into Ascari, and Portis will just cut it off. Larson is looking for every opportunity possible, probing for a weakness. And Portis has been able to gain a bit of a gap there out of Ascari, probably from holding up Larson just a tad. And Larson will gain a lot of that back as he has to brake heavy into Parabolica as to not run into Portis. Portis will get a little bit better of a line and an exit out of Parabolica, which will leave Larson on the back foot here. That's the games he's got to play, though, if he wants to make this happen. Friesen, Valero, any other people dropping back. Looks like things are steadying out, though. Three-way battle here for P5. Reed down the start-finish straight. Hoping to make a move on Rise. Rise is holding these guys up right now, which could be good for drivers behind, like Friesen. And Reed into braking definitely is going to have a bit of a better... Ooh, almost lets Fletcher get in there. And right behind him, even more battles ensue. Seems to have compromised them just slightly, though. Let's go back to our leaders. So they come down the back straight. Under the old banking. Portis putting up an excellent defense here for 18 minutes so far. He's been doing great at doing a great job of keeping Larson behind him, not letting Larson get an opportunity to make a move. Looking at some of the battles here. Portis seeing if he's got enough space. I don't think he's going to have enough space here. Let's see about Rise. Looks like Rise maybe had a bit of a compromised line there. Reed takes a wide line through Parabolica. Ooh, very wide line through Parabolica. I don't know if that's going to pay off for him. Now Reed's got a drag race with Fletcher. Fletcher has the better line here because he's going to be in the draft of Rise now. But Reed's got a lot of speed. Now Rise has to figure out which one he's going to defend against, but I don't really think Reed or Fletcher really has any opportunity to make a move there. Fletcher will get ahead of Reed there. Reed conceding that position. Fender and Friesen battle still rages on. Guacia dropping time to Nunez. Nunez now has a 2-second gap and is holding P3. Nunez would have hoped that he wouldn't have gotten into that tussle. He probably could have stuck with these top three here. Instead, he's got to play catch-up, and without the power of the draft, I think he's going to have a hard time doing so. Looking back, got to take a look here, see what the distance is between these two drivers. Maybe take a look at some other drivers, see where they're lying. Englander still managing to hold off Valero. Englander must have had a poor start. Englander also gaining time on Friesen here. Reed close to Flesher. No rain on the forecast just yet. Larson may have a little bit of a better line, and he definitely does have a bit of a better line. Portis still ahead, but this is where he's going to have to watch out here. Larson's got a better line. Is he going to look somewhere? Peeking out just a little bit on the outside, but they're going to have to go single file through chicane number 2. Rise now kind of in no man's land as Reed re-overtakes Fletcher here for P6. This battle is allowing Rise to have a bit of breathing room. I think those two need to work together maybe a little bit more in order to battle against Rise. I think they could take him out pretty easy if they just put their heart and mind to it. Bit of a train behind Fender here. Friesen, Englander, and Valero. Been playing a decent amount of Formula 1 22, and you say what you will about that game. Still got a bit of fun racing here and there, and was racing here just recently, and didn't finish the race because I binned it at Ascari. Friesen was looking for an opportunity there. It didn't present itself. Fender goes wide, and now, ooh, it's going to be close. Contact between Friesen and Englander there. Now, who's going to come out ahead? It's going to be Friesen, I think. With contact between Englander and Friesen, though. Friesen, who looks to have a little bit better of a line, and Englander opting to get behind Friesen instead of Fender. Drag race down to the first chicane. Friesen now looks to be a little bit comfortably ahead of Fender. And Englander tries to maybe make a look, but he can't go anywhere because Fender is right there on the inside. Englander has to back out of his battle with Friesen there, and a good move by Friesen to block out the battle there, but Fender now back at him. Friesen gets a bit of a bad line wide, and as they go in, Friesen's got the inside line. They got to go single file through here. And Friesen will come out on top. That's going to be 8th place for Friesen, and he's going to hold that, I think. Portis now looks like Larson's as close as he's ever been out of Ascari. He's got to hold close, though, going into Parabolica. Let's see here. Oh, that's awfully close for Larson, but it looks like Portis has just got a little bit more speed. Also, if you take a look at our fastest laps, Portis has the fastest lap of the session, but that's not much of a consolation because Larson's been behind him the whole race so far. Now, Reed trying to catch back up to Fender, or sorry, Rise. Now Friesen has got a bit of clean air here in his battle against Fender, now almost a second ahead. Battle for first place here. Larson looking on the inside. Not going to go for it, though. Bit of a risky move anyway, so good to get out of there. right, here we go, Portis. "25 minutes into this race, Portis still holding off Larson quite spectacularly to maintain P1. He's been doing this the whole race. 1-2-3 car of Flores is in the pits. Friesen now 1 second ahead of Fender, catching on Fletcher and Reed's battle here. Rise is now got 1 second between him and Reed. Guacia dropping back, 5 seconds behind Nunez. Nunez is running pretty quick too, only 3/10 slower than these leaders. Problem is he doesn't have the leaders to be in slipstream with, isn't gaining the pace advantage from them. Not being allowed to trail. Larson looking on the inside again. Just keeping up the pressure, letting Portis know he's there. Awfully close between these two. Track is getting cooler. Friesen now 3 seconds back from Fletcher and Reed's battle. Valero has made a move on Englander. Englander now P11. We're coming up on our halfway point here. Hope you guys are enjoying the race so far. This great battle for P1. Larson still sitting in P2. Nunez in P3 running a race of his own. Same with Guacia, P4. Chris Rise gonna feel the pressure here soon from Reed and Fletcher, but got a little bit of a break from it earlier. The lone Lamborghini of Reed bearing in on Rise. Fletcher down the tail. Friesen now catching up to this battle, the battle of Fletcher and Reed. Fender, Valero, and Englander battling it out here. We see Englander opt for an inside line to battle with Valero there. Looks like Englander will get the better line too. Down the start-finish straight, Valero opting for the outside. Drag race between Englander and Valero. Close between the two. Englander's got to concede it again. Fender's going to get a bit more breathing room. Valero and Englander still battling it out. Griffith running kind of on his own here. Same with Brown and Yao. Actually, Brown and Yao have got a little bit of a tussle here, and Yao will make the move. That is for P13. Back to our leaders, checking in on the battle. Larson got a tighter line in there. Let's watch, see if Larson is able to make a dent in Portis's defense. Down the start finish they go. Larson not going to be able to do it here. Back down, Kevin Yu. Bit of a slippage there onto the dirt. 99 car of Pinio in the dirt. Got some damage on that car of his. Looks to be an unforced error. Dale Rodman with some damage on the front of his Audi. Comes down the back straight here. Flores in the pits. Back to the battle. While this doesn't mean too much for the championship points, Larson having quite a substantial lead ahead of Portis in that regard. This is going to be this could be a big morale boost for Portis. I think it's a good it's just a good win in overall for Portis to have beating Larson on track, beating him, you know, even though it's not maybe pure pace that he's beating him with, he's beating him with good defending, solid defending, good racecraft, um, leaving an impenetrable barrier, leaving an impenetrable barrier for Larson, and Larson just not able to capitalize on that. Looking back, Friesen has made a move on Friesen's made a move on Reed. Reed drops back to P8. Friesen making up places from early early lap 1 losses, and Larson opting for a wider line there. Don't think that keeps him too far ahead. I think he's actually a little bit further back now than he was before. Maybe Larson just trying to cool things down a little bit, maybe cool the tires off. Hard to say. Friesen looking to make a move on Fletcher down the start-finish straight. Friesen's got the way better line there, and he'll go on the inside, blocking Fletcher out from making any move there. And Friesen will take P6. That's a good recovery drive from him. Now he's got to hold it off. Portis and Larson, things should be good there for a little longer. See if Friesen can hold this off now. Friesen's now P6. And then he can go on to attack Rise now. Rise, 3 seconds up on these guys. Great recovery drive from Friesen. Think he can get a top five finish here if he plays his cards correctly. He's got to watch out for Reed and Fletcher behind him. They're going to want to get in there as well. Going back to our leaders here. If you're just joining us now, we've got an excellent battle between Larson and Portis now. And hope you guys are enjoying the stream. If you are interested in following the Zealous Racing League a little bit closer, be sure to like and subscribe and join our Facebook and Twitter page, links of which are on the homepage of the YouTube channel. And if you're interested in joining Zealous and joining us for future leagues, be sure to join our Discord page. We've got all the most up-to-date information there regarding upcoming seasons. Season 10 is going to be right around the corner in the new year, as well as maybe a few fun events in between. But it should make for some fun. Racing next season as well. So if you're interested, be sure to take a look and join the community. Always happy to have new racers of all skill types, of all skill levels, I should say. Larson looking on the outside, and he goes wide. Portis just blocking him off, taking that inside line. Larson losing lots of ground to that too. That's the closest that Larson's been to trying to make a move. Thought he may have had it there. Looks like he definitely is trying to get that position. Just Portis's excellent defending is really staving him off at the moment. Friesen trying to close in on Rise, isn't able to do it just yet. A lot of these battles are spreading out a little bit. Valero making the move on Fender and Englander. Now Englander wants to take his Mercedes AMG brethren out. Fender wants to try to make the move on him. Englander on the inside. Contact between Fender and Englander. More contact. They go side by side. Not much prizing. Prizes in Season 10, guys. I just got confirmation from one of our admins, Wolf, that prizes in Season 10. Does the caster get some prizes? I don't know. Does the caster get some prizes? That'd be pretty cool. I'm just kidding. Englander battling with Fender. Fender not really one to give up a position here. He's been awfully close to be losing that position, but he just holds the line. And I mean, he's entitled for that space on the track. He just maybe just a slower car, but he's able to hold off. And Fender doesn't have a great line in there. Englander gets a bit of a better line there and wants to make that move. Larson with the fastest lap now, unhindered by Portis, goes 0.5 faster. But now Larson's back into range. He's got to take out, maybe not take out isn't the right word, but he's got to make the moves on Portis. Ooh, we have the 99 car, the 53 car. A little bit of contact there. Pinio Glenn going a little bit wide there. 59 car, Englander, and Fender still battling it out. Fender still doesn't want to give up the place. Friesen now, second from Rise in P5. Englander on the inside. Now this is the same thing that happened to Friesen there earlier. Englander had the space, but it looks like Fender just squeezed him in there. It's tough to judge that. Seems more like a racing incident to me, but Englander is entitled to that space there. Chicanes are just so tough. They're so tight. Not a lot of room to make moves. And now Larson on the outside of Portis here. Down the first corner. Is there going to be contact? There's not contact, but there is contact between Portis and Larson. Larson gets Portis there, and Larson will concede. Larson knows he's the one who made the mistake there. It was really close battling between them, but just wasn't able to make the move there. Very close. Just as close, I'd say, as the last one. But now Portis probably got a little bit more wear on those tires than he would have liked. 20 minutes left in this race. Larson's now going to make up a 2-second gap. I don't think it's going to be too difficult for him, but Larson does go wide. That's very uncharacteristic of Larson to go wide and make a mistake like that, but maybe a little bit frazzled from that mistake. Excuse me. Maybe a little bit frazzled from that mistake with Portis there. Friesen now inching closer to Rise as they're on the Lesmos. we are. Rise, Friesen coming to Ascari here. Friesen's not going to be able to make the move here, I don't believe. But he's awfully close. With that incident, Nunez also catches up to the leaders. He's now only 4 seconds back instead of 12. Valero now P8, Reed P9. Englander falling back from Fender from that contact there. Yao closing out on Griffith, now a half a second back. Last lap, Friesen goes 51, Rise 50. Friesen losing a little bit of time down the straight there. Portis already got Portis already got Larson back on his tail. And now the battle ensues once more. Looking back, Yao awfully close to making a move on Griffith here. See if he's able to do it, and he does. We look back. Toby Yao gaining P12. Friesen half a second back from Rise. Fletcher getting close to Valero. I should say Valero's actually overtaken, and Valero now P7. Good comeback drive from him as well. Larson with a blistering lap there. That's his fastest lap of the session. Larson looking on the inside. That's not going to be the time to do it, though. Excellent battles all around the field today. Portis and Larson. Friesen makes the move on Rise, who maybe has a bit of a mistake, which is not good for him. That'll promote Friesen into P5. Valero now closing in behind. Now going to have to defend against Valero. Friesen's been making a great recovery drive, as has Nunez and Valero. Fletcher and Reed having good battles as well. Fender and Englander tussling. Englander will want to make it up into the top 5 here as Rise has dropped back. "16 minutes left in the race. This has been a battle that's been ensuing the whole race long so far. All 44 minutes of the race has been this battle, and Larson looking and isn't able to make the move, way too far back. Just wanted to let Portis know that he's looking. Maybe trying to get a little bit of better run here down the start-finish straight as Larson gets awfully close. Is he going to peak? He's going to take a little bit of a peek, but he's not close enough to make the move. Portis will maintain P1. Friesen, Valero closing in on him. Great drive up into P5. Reed and Fletcher battling it out now. Currently fastest lap of the race is Larson with a 48.2. Best lap from Portis is a 48.9. Back to our leaders. As we see there, Portis breaking and holding a defensive line into, looks like he's losing traction on those tires as well. If you notice, he's short shifting up into third there. Wasn't doing that earlier when he was doing his qualifying laps. Just look through that rear view mirror. That's what Portis is seeing. And it looks like he is trying to hold up Larson a little bit there. Trying to game him a little bit. Just so that he doesn't get a good run down this first straight. Ooh, close between those two. Portis looks on the inside, Larson looks on the outside, but is unsuccessful. Very close from Larson there. Valero close to Friesen now and has made the move. But now Friesen's got the draft. Valero into P5. Demotes Friesen to P6, but that's still a good drive from him. See if he can make it stick. Friesen and Valero keeping it clean. Friesen's got the better line and will maintain it. Lost it and then got it right back, but Valero now on the charge. Gets that inside line on the flat right-hander. Valero definitely has a little bit of a better line here. And Friesen's got to tuck back in. Too dangerous for him to make that move. It's a close battle between these two in the championship standings as well. They're only about 14 points apart. As we have 13 minutes left in this race. Fletcher and Reed seems like they have quit their squabbles for the time being. Rise feeling pressure from Englander behind. Fender right in front. Down the start-finish straight here, we have Portis and Larson. This is the opportunity. These are where Larson has got to make the move. If he is going to make one at all, he's going to look on the inside. He is going to look on the inside, but Portis making that Honda as fat as possible. Taking up as much of the circuit as he can just to dissuade Larson from making any moves. It does compromise his line a little bit. Now, awfully close. Larson here. Larson's got the outside line going into the second chicane. And who will come out? Oh, Larson has got to pull out at the last minute there. Awfully close between those two drivers. He had the look on the outside, but Portis held his line and just stayed a fraction ahead going into that chicane, so he was able to hold off for the time being. Rise concedes the position to Englander. Now they're going to attack Fender. Battle between Valero and Friesen now. Looks like Friesen is dropping back. Still has a 3-second gap to Fletcher behind. Friesen should be happy if he can just maintain this position. So come down the start-finish straight here. It looks like Larson maybe had a bit of an incident there. Didn't get to see that happen. But now, Larson's on the back foot, has to gain that time back. Not that that's going to be much of an issue with 10 minutes left. He's going to gain it back probably this lap and be right on the heels of Portis again. And Portis makes a bit of a mistake there. Compromises his line out of the first chicane. Not a good time to be doing that. Larson just made a mistake himself. Can Portis hold it? Looks like he might. Drive through for Nunez. Looks like he had too many off-track, maybe too many off-track penalties there. Nunez now has a drive through. That's going to be bad for him. It's going to demote him a few positions. Larson still has yet to answer to Portis's defending here. Still has yet to make a meaningful answer, that is. Looks like Nunez maybe cut one of the chicanes accidentally and incurred a drive-through penalty. Bit unfortunate, but that's what happens sometimes. And now, Portis hoping to hold off. Beautiful shot down the back straight there. Larson looking inside. Not close enough to make it count. If Nunez pits now, I believe he'll come in between Valero and Goetia there. So you only lose one position, but that is the one podium position. And now he's in for that drive-through penalty. That'll promote Goetia as he comes around Parabolica here. Just checking in on these leaders, seeing if they're going to be making any moves here. Portis still holds off. Nunez still has the drive-through. He's almost done with it, but Valero and the rest of them are coming across now. And only now is Nunez getting out of there. He's actually going to lose 2 positions here. Maybe even 3 if Friesen is lucky. Unfortunately not. Nunez will be back in P5 now. Nunez will be back in P5 now. Valero P4. Goetia 3. Friesen might be able to even make a move now on Nunez, which would be good for his championship battle with him. This actually is showing, proving to be maybe quite lucrative for him in the championship standings if Friesen can manage to take a position from Nunez here. It's going to be great for him. Down the straight here, they go a little bit wide, Larson and Portis. Awfully close here. The few off tracks between these two drivers. Larson now awfully close. Can he make the move? Larson on the inside. Oh, Portis getting a little bit of a tussle, getting his elbows out there. Makes contact and holds the position by hitting Larson out of the way. A little bit rude by Portis there. Contact is noted. And now, Portis gonna maintain. Oh, a bad exit from him though. Ooh, awfully close between the two. Close battle, 6 minutes left now. Larson needs to make the move. Time is of the essence. They only have, what, maybe 4 laps left in this race. He's maybe only got about 4 or 5 opportunities left. Although he's going to make every opportunity count here. Larson, up until the end, Portis and Larson go side by side. And Portis is going to hold his line. He's going to hold it from Larson there. Absolutely incredible side-by-side racing through Ascari there. Larson still got a little bit of a better line as they run down through to Parabolica. Portis on the inside. And there's contact between the two, and they both go wide. Contact between Portis and Larson there. I think Portis is going to keep going. He's going to probably just take the penalty there. awfully close between the two. I think that might have been Portis's fault, though. Getting his elbows out. Now Goetia is close to our championship leader here of Larson. Larson's 8 seconds back. It's going to be a big penalty, I think, on Portis if he doesn't rectify that. But that being said, they did have Goetia coming in fast, so maybe they thought just get back on track and try to do it again there. 4 minutes left in the race. Portis is now quite a bit ahead of Larson here. Larson's going to have to make back 8 seconds of time here after he had to get his car restarted after the contact. I don't know. Viewers, what do you guys think about that one? It's awfully close. They're battling it. They're going in hard. Could be seen as a racing incident, but you know, we do have some admins I know in the viewing right now. What do you guys think? How would you guys call it? I might be inclined to give Portis a bit of a penalty there, just because he was the one, I believe, a little bit. I think he was a little bit behind going into that. I'll have to watch that replay though to be 100% sure. This Portis now 7 seconds ahead. That little tussle got them quite far, lost them quite a bit of time, and really bridged the gap, or made quite a big gap between the two. Now Larson, 6.8 seconds back with 3 minutes left to go. That's about 2 laps left in this race. Maybe 3. Nope, that's going to be 2, if I've done my math correctly. Given the lap times that our drivers are running, 2 laps left in this race. Friesen now in a bit of a gap. Valero in a bit of a gap. Nunez behind him, not able to answer after that drive-through penalty. Valero, good recovery drive. Englander in P10 now. Wants to make that move on Fender. Is he going to be able to rise his drop back down to 13? Pinio at the back. Rodman right in front. Kevin Yu and Brown. Quite a distance apart between those two drivers. 6.7 seconds. Fender running a good and aggressive race here. Fletcher as well, done well to get ahead of Reed. Friesen good drive. Goetia good drive. Hasn't been able to hold on to Larson though. Valero. Griffith kind of in no man's land here. As is Yao. Yao goes wide. And here we go. Portis crossing the start finish for the last time. This will be the final lap of the race. How much time is he going to be able to keep between him and Larson? Larson now 6.2 seconds back. It's going to be awfully close. Maybe they talked about it too in the chat. Now that I think of it, all of our drivers are in a Discord server with each other, so maybe Portis and Larson rectified it there. Looking for the battles here. If there are any battles at all, Reed now close behind Fletcher. Could be the battle to watch at the end of this race. Seeing if Reed can make a dent. Larson 6.1. As they're now winding down. Reed goes a little bit wide there. Not good if he's wanting to make up that position. We'll have to come back to this battle. But let's watch our leader, Portis, after a bit of a tussle there with Larson, coming around Parabolica for the final time. If everything holds as it is currently, this could be the first win of the season on track for Kenneth Portis. A great race by him with Larson right behind. Guacia, P3. Good drive from him to get back into those positions. Valero now rounding the final turn. Valero will cross P4. P5 will be Nunez after that drive through. Little bit of a devastating blow to him, but still a good result. Friesen will get 6. Good recovery drive from him. Fletcher, Reed, Fender crossing now. Him and Englander battled a lot of that race. Yao will cross. And Englander, oh, looks like Yao got it on the last lap there from Englander. Englander had a bit of a moment there, and looks like Yao will get P10 instead of Englander. A little bit of a heartbreak from him there. Rise will be P13. Brown will be P14. Yu coming across P15. Pinio 16, and Rodman in 17th place. Well, folks, that is the race. Portis coming across now. Portis coming across now, having won. And here we go. Turning. Oh, shoot. I think I messed that up there. For the race. Nope, there we go. And here we are, folks. The end of the race. Want to give a huge congratulations to the winner of today's race, Kenneth Portis. And P2 is Christopher Larson. P3 is Guacia. Rounding up the top 5 is Valero Nunez. Top 10, Friesen, Fletcher, Reed, and Fender, and Yao. Great performance from all of our drivers this week for round 7 at Monza of ZAD's F1 Circuit Tour in ACC. It's been a great race, and it's been a pleasure to be your host tonight for today's race. It's been an absolute blast, and hope you guys are able to tune in. Hopefully somebody can stream the race next week for the final round of Season 9 at Circuit of the Americas. I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. Be sure to follow our social medias, like and subscribe to the channel, and join the Discord if you're interested in getting involved with ZRL and learning about what we have coming up in store. That is all I've got. That's all the plugs I have. My name is Shim. I've been your host tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. Have a great night.